Season 4 Reloaded patch notes. Global, we get a brand new event. Nicolas Cage. Some people are split on this. I think overall, looks good. And it seems to fit within Black Ops 7. So I think that's fine. AN-94 is also going to be available in this. Looks like it's part of the free section. You just play out and then you'll get access to it. Rebirth Island, we get the seasonal variant. The snow is melted, leaves start to grow in trees. And then we get this mode. So we're going to get the squad gun game. And this is general. Squads earn points through eliminations, advance to the next weapon tier every 5 eliminations, with the first team to cycle through all 10 weapons, claiming victory. Modification on gun game, unlimited ammo, armor plates keep the action focused on combat. Surviving squad mates are revealed when a player is eliminated. Interesting. So it'll be trios, 30 players, 10 teams, and then maps. Rotation will be fortunes, all of them. Until we get more of the maps in the rotation. Resurgence Casual, Fortunes Keeps has been added to the Resurgence Casual map rotation. And then returning, we get buyback quads. From the 9th to the 13th, you'll be able to jump on there and it'll be a LTM weekend. Here's the playlist. At least there are solos. Duos are not there for regular Battle Royale, nor are trios. So Champion Quest returns with a new multi-step objective chain designed to challenge the most skilled squads. And this has basically been gone since they removed backpacks. So it's been a long time. Players can gain access by winning 5 consecutive core Battle Royale matches or the 30 matches within a single season. Eligible squads must secure Champions Quest contract from a designated contract briefcase during a match to activate the quest. From there, they'll complete a series of objectives across the map, including transporting radioactive isotope, recovering a hard drive, and escorting missile. You know what's funny about this is they had to rework it because probably multiple reasons. But some of the way that this functions, it sounds like it's in line with how DMZ stuff would function. Obviously, there's not AI on the map, but there are other people trying to come after you and whatever. But I wonder how similar some of that stuff will be in DMZ, because even how they described some of those dynamic missions, say you'll load in, you'll have an objective to go here. Then when you go rescue the person, it tells you to go do this. This seems like it has a little bit of flavor of that. Probably the matches aren't quite as long, so it's got to be a little bit more tuned. But I would imagine there might be some inklings there that they're able to experiment with, or it worked in both parts of the game. And eventually they'll make it into the new version of Warzone Season 1 or whatever, if that ends up being the case. Randomize objective locations, public events, and match-wide visibility turn on the quest in a server-wide battle. A quest unfolds. Enemy squads can contest objectives and intercept carriers, successfully stealing a key item from the Champions Quest squad and extracting it at the designed helipad will reward your squad with Champions Quest token for a future match. So you could steal it, and even if you haven't gotten those 5 wins or the 30 wins, then you can just load in and do it again. And basically now it's yours. So even if you're not the most optimal at winning, you could still get some opportunities if you end up in those lobbies where people are actually going for those. Once a squad has claimed the world's first achievement, the golden ticket public event system will unlock, creating rare alternative opportunities to earn progress towards Champions Quest tokens. Accumulating multiple Champion Quest victories will result in even more rewards. So this is more like definitely for hardcore players you might participate in. Even if you're not a hardcore player, you could definitely go out of your way to steal one if the circumstances are right. But it'll be pretty interesting to see how that plays out, if people like those better or worse. Because generally the thing is for COD, if it's something new, you got to complain about it. If it's something old, you got to complain about it because it's old. If it's COD, you basically got to complain about it, right? That's the general mantra for a lot of people. Not to say that the game doesn't have its flaws, but that is the rah until we get to MW4. It's everything added. It's a hate bandwagon because it's not Modern Warfare. Let's see. So Warzone Ranked Series in season. So complete in Season 4 Reloaded. Warzone Ranked event feature. Oh, this is like what they did last time. So nothing crazy there. Still some adjustments there on some of the weapons in Ranked. And then it says gameplay. So supply boxes disabled in gas. Players can no longer interact with supply boxes located deep within the gas. It was creating unintended gameplay patterns, disproportionately rewarding players who remained outside the playable area. So going against the grain there. Deep in gas dynamics, grace distance. The distance at which players are considered deep in the gas now scales. Circle 1, Circle 2, and then Circle 3 will give you different variants on how far you need to be outside the map. So originally it looked like it was 40 meters across the board, but as the match goes on, it should be smaller distance. Earlier circles allow more flexibility when rotating through the gas, while laters are intended to demand greatly urgency, commitment, dynamic. Scaling the greater distance better reflects the pace of each phase. Redeployment orientation, quality of life. Players redeploy near teammates positioned close to the gas will now face towards the safe zone rather than towards the gas. So you don't have to worry about turning around. All right, Battle Royale and Resurgence. Hot zone loot zones across the map have now a chance to spawn a gas mask as ground loot. Hot zones across the map, Rebirth now have increased chance to contain legendary supply crates. Haven's Hollow has additional increased chance of legendary supply crates to appear. And to offset these improvements, the overall number of legendary crates outside of the hot zones has been slightly reduced. So kind of have a reason to go there, and they've incentivized it. Battle Royale, dynamic gulag wait times, quality of life. Players waiting in gulag without finding an opponent will now receive a free deploy faster as the match progresses, which is good because you're less likely to run into somebody. This happens all the time. It's been an ongoing thing, but they're just addressing that. Nice low quality of life. Buy stations adjusted. It says RCXD replaces the smoke screen, and it's 4,000. Straightforward. Munitions box, improved interaction prompt positioning for better accessibility. Items from deployed munitions now spawn 12% further away. So if it pops out, it gets a little bit more zoom, so not everything's stacked on top of each other. Point turret, reduced target acquisition range from 25 meters to 18. Increased target acquisition delay, so they're less annoying. And then reduce the number of point turrets you can hold from 2 to 1. Stims, reduce health regeneration by 40% while in the gas. So they can counteract that problem. And then grappling hook, reduce maximum movement speed by 15%. Basically, they get nerfed. Reduce vertical detach speed by that. Retention, 75 to 70. And then reduce early detach maximum speed by 25%. So just a nerf overall. Get the new weapons, which it'll be a hatchet if you care about the camos. Other than that, usually those things aren't too good. Then we get the AN-94 returning to Call of Duty again. Even though we did get a version of this in the MW side as well. I'm sure it'll be very similar to that, but it'll still be its own thing. And then we get new attachments. We're going to get the Vulcan minigun on the Ion, the dual fire on the DS-20. The Velox gets a carbine chassis, which these will all be in season. Weekly, and weekly. So you got to do your weeklies if you're interested in any of those. Be on the lookout. Usually I post a quick clip on Twitter since most these don't draw enough interest to cover a full video in depth on any of these. That's kind of the problem with that type of content. And then lootable weapons. AN replaces the AK. VX Compact replaces the Maddox. Cerberus replaces the Razor. And then the KRS replaces the Nova line. Looks like nothing crazy there. We do get a ISR gets a buff. That could be pretty solid. All right. And what's crazy is this gun is already like at the edge of the meta, I think, for a lot of people. Because right now we have it where the current meta is like the Carbon, the Mirage, and this IS is probably like the 4th or 5th best, maybe behind the AK, the MXR. So it's good this gets a buff. That'll move it probably closer to the top end. MXR doesn't look like it gets a nerf, so this will still be a pretty solid option. Peacekeeper, still going to be all right. Boyac is all right, still at the edge of the meta conversation. Compact, nah, they really didn't do much for the VX Compact. It's just a little bit of range, which maybe, who knows, maybe that's good enough to push it over, but I don't know. And then the Cerberus, rechambers now every 40 bullets instead of 30. I don't know. It feels like this gun, you got to have that prestige attachment, which is kind of crappy. And then it's kills fast otherwise, but that's a little bit of inconvenience that you don't happen to kill within the short burst. It's just like there's other guns that are as good without the inconvenience. So it's kind of like just scrap the inconvenience. I don't think anyone finds the inconvenience fun. And then the gun will probably be overpowered for a little bit and then nerf it. It's one of those things where I kind of jinxed it on our last video where I was like, oh, they've been killing it on the meta. All the next guns they put out end up being dog. Like, it's like, bro, come on, man. Now I'm not going to even cover that. Like, if it's trash, it's trash. It's not worth covering. Hopefully the AN is good. Otherwise, you know, no reason to cover it. NPC, it's a little bit of a balance adjustments there. Rev gets a buff to the range. Doesn't seem crazy beyond that. Headshot multiplier goes up slightly. See how that works. Stormwolf. So it looks like this one actually multiple buffs there. VST, which was already okay, but 1 meter difference. I don't think that's going to make a big difference. Decrease the view kick. That'll make it easier to use. XM. It's okay. Not substantial changes there. So it looks like realistically, we'll still probably have the same meta, which is the DS20, the Carbon, the MXR, the Dravik, the AK, the Boyac, like some of those. The VST gets a buff, and even maybe the ISR. So you got a few different options there, but the problem is, like, the AN's got to come out hot, right? We'll see kind of where that goes and where the meta lays out. Doesn't sound like it's going to be particularly interesting unless that comes out like super broken and it's just no recoil and fun to use. But we'll see kind of where it goes. Tomorrow is the update. We get the new content. I'm going to be grinding out zombies, leveling up my guns, and then I'll probably have a patch note video, or I'll probably have a meta video if I find the meta interesting. We'll see kind of where it goes. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.